Hey besties, I hope you're well. I hope you're absolutely thriving in life today. Now I am so excited to be back with another DCC video. I got a lot of love on my last video and I appreciate that so much. And I really wasn't sure how it was going to be perceived because I'd never done a DCC video on my channel before. But I'm so happy a lot of you found me and I found a lot of you guys. And you guys were able to comment, subscribe, like, and just have a bit of chit chatter on what was going on recently with Kadiana and Shandi. This one is going to be my second DCC video and I'm looking to do a bunch more as well because I feel like I'm very well versed on the topic. I've been watching it for many years, so I will have a request form below in my description. So if you guys want to request anything, request I guess a season or a group of girls or anything to do with DCC at all, a deep dive even maybe, drop that in the request form below. You can remain completely anonymous as well. Now a whole year has passed since season 1 of America's Sweethearts on Netflix, so I thought I would do a bit of a where are they now. The new season is coming out this week, which is so exciting. I've watched the trailer, I've dissected the trailer on TikTok as well and on my YouTube channel, so go check that out. But I thought we would catch everybody up on what the people from last season were doing because there's a few things that have changed. I will also be doing a Where Are They Now season 2 version pretty much a couple of days after season 2 airs, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and press that bell notification so you don't miss that video. So crazy to think they are already filming season 3 because finals literally were yesterday, and the fact that we've only had one season out and they're already filming season 3, there's so much happening. But if you are new here, hi, welcome. My name is Charlotte Scott. I live in Australia and my YouTube channel pretty much consists of internet drama, influencer drama, deep dives, scammers, a little bit of my opinion in there as well, and everything in between. So if you're interested in any of that, plus some DCC videos coming up in the future, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and comment what you want below. And again, comment your thoughts on this video at the end because I love chatting to you guys. I love seeing what you guys think about this, and I feel like everyone has such different opinions on DCC. And while you're down in the description, make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok to keep up with me in real life. Send me a message, send me a DM, let's be friends, let's chat everything. So if it's the AM, grab a cup of tea, if it's the PM, grab a glass of wine, and let's get stuck into season 1 of America's Sweethearts, Where Are They Now? Let's kick things off strong with beautiful Kelsey here. Kelsey was probably the most featured veteran on season 1 of America's Sweethearts. We saw in season 1 that she was a nurse and she also got engaged to her fiance Nate. That was captured as well, which was absolutely gorgeous. This was Kelsey's last year on the team. She decided she did not want to re-audition this year. She was up to her 5th season and she had accomplished pretty much everything you can accomplish in DCC. She was the point of the triangle, she was a group leader, and she was a Pro Bowl cheerleader. Now, since season 1 wrapped up, Kelsey got married to her fiance Nate on New Year's Eve in 2024. And of course she performed Thunderstruck at her wedding, which is a very normal thing for DCC to do, past or present. She did this with her DCC sisters in tow, and a few of them were bridesmaids. That included Carolina, Jada, Shandi, just to name a few. From what I found online, Kelsey is still working as a nurse and she is also a DCC All-Star. I don't think they've really covered All-Star much in the season, but a DCC All-Star is someone who just fills in from time to time. Maybe they'll do some performances pre-game while the girls are getting ready for Thunderstruck inside. Sometimes they do meet and greets, but it's pretty much a very flexible DCC. They really don't have to commit to anything if they don't want to. It seems like she has taken an influencer route as well since DCC. She does a lot of sponsored and partnership content on her TikTok and Instagram, as well as regular kind of day in the life vlogs. She does things like Get Ready With Me. She walks us through her hair routine for DCC. She also had surgery recently on her ankle, which is a very normal thing to do for a lot of these girls who have danced for so many years, the amount of jump splits they do. If you guys remember Caroline from season 1, she ended up having surgery on her ankle as well. It seems like she is still living in Dallas, Texas, and living her best life as a married woman to her husband Nate. Next up we have Victoria. You guys will probably remember Victoria, especially from the back end of the show. She had a lot of trouble kind of connecting with other girls. This was her dream pretty much since she was born, and her mother's dream for her. At the end of season 1, Victoria pretty much said that she wanted to re-audition to prove Callie and Judy wrong, that she could be her absolute best self and finish her DCC tenure with an exclamation mark. At the very end, Victoria said she realizes she didn't need to prove herself to anybody and that she will be retiring. Now, Victoria moved to New York City pretty much as soon as the Netflix show aired, and she posted this absolutely gorgeous photo of her with a billboard of herself in Times Square. The caption reads, "NYC, I love you, can't believe I get to call this place home. Hashtag Dancer, hashtag Dancer Life, hashtag NYC, hashtag Netflix." Post DCC, Victoria has received a lot of love and support from the general public on what she is doing now. She also seems to have gone on a lot of online platforms to do interviews such as podcasts, YouTube. Pretty much as soon as she moved to New York City, she became a dance teacher. As for employment in New York City, she became a dance teacher and she also started up a YouTube channel. And with her YouTube channel, she started off super strong. She was posting regularly. She was posting DCC makeup routines, Q&As, packing to move to New York, her first week in New York, get ready with me vlogs, the whole 9 yards. Not long after she moved to New York City and was teaching dance, she revealed that pretty much instantly she received an informal cease and desist from Kelly Finglass, telling her that the signature dance they do at DCC Thunderstruck is a copyrighted choreography and legally she cannot teach it to make money off it. Back then she said this was pretty much the only communication she had had with Kelly since she wrapped up DCC. Again, this was almost a year ago, probably like 10 months, so I'm not quite sure what communication they've had. It's not very public. It was also revealed that a couple of months after the show aired, Tina Kalina, which was Victoria's mother and also best friends with Kelly, they had not spoken, Kelly and Tina. Apparently it was pretty rocky after the whole Netflix documentary came out and things were said, and I think things weren't said in person to each other and found out on the Netflix show. So that's really sad. They were really close friends, literally best friends for years and years and years. So hopefully they've rekindled their relationship. Again, I haven't heard much of them since the show has wrapped. I am fairly certain though, for the alumni show that happened this past year, Tina Kalina wasn't there, and that really speaks volume because if you guys remember, she was obsessed with DCC back then and still now. So for her to not go to the alumni event was very telling. Now, Victoria's YouTube channel has slowed down significantly. The last video she posted was 2 months ago, and the one before that was 6 months ago. With her TikTok account, she is not posting as much as she used to as well. I think the last makeup / get ready with me was in December, but she's really just posting kind of dance combination videos at the moment. And they have been very, very infrequent, but it seems like she is mostly active on her Instagram. She also did try out for the Rockettes back in April and unfortunately didn't make it. She spoke very highly of the experience and said she will try out again in the future. And by the looks of the comments, people are still eagerly following her journey and really hoping that she does the best that she can. Victoria is still obviously massive into dance, like I have mentioned before, and that includes teaching dance classes. Now, back in October 2024, Victoria taught a dance class and one of the attendees had herself filmed and uploaded it on her social media. There were a lot of comments on this video, and one that stood out in particular was from Maddie. Now, Maddie is a former DCC, former point of the triangle. She was a comeback girl, so she didn't make it her first year. She was absolutely gorgeous, an absolute powerhouse dancer as well. Maddie commented and said, "You're killing it, but want you to know that this is my choreography that I taught DCC in 2020. Victoria does not have my permission or the permission of DCC to be claiming / teaching this material." So yeah, not a good look for Victoria, unfortunately. Somebody commented and pretty much said, "We get it, you guys don't like her. The mean girl spirit is showing in this comment section." Maddie replied saying, "I have no problem with her when I cheat with her. I do, however, have a problem with her profiting off my work / choreography without permission. Not personal, just professional." Someone then replied and said, "If it was professional, you'd reach out to her personally," and Maddie said, "I did." Now, that should be all said and done. Obviously, Maddie is claiming back her work, but there were a lot of former DCC commenting on this video. And I just want to preface by saying all of these comments have been deleted by now by the previous DCC, except for Maddie. Former DCCs were saying things like, "You killed this, Maddie's choreography is my favorite. Yes, crush this, love Maddie's choreography. Matt's choreography is my fave, looking good on you. Not a great look for DCC cheerleaders in general because it does look very passive aggressive towards Victoria. But really, Maddie was the one here who really needed to speak up, and she did. And a lot of people in the comments at the time agreed with that the former DCC should not be speaking up. Most recently, Victoria created an Etsy account with her own merch line. I'm just going to put my own personal opinion here. It's giving Canva artwork, it's giving drop shipping, it's really not looking great, to be honest. And it seems like she's only had a few sales since then, so it speaks for itself. But that is the update on Victoria, probably one of the most prominent characters in the show America's Sweethearts on Netflix season 1. Let me know what your thoughts are on Victoria. Did she get a rough edit? Did you guys compare her very much to DCC making the team? As I know she was perceived very, very differently from those fans. What do you think she's going to do? Is she going to make the Rockettes? I would love to know your opinion below on her. I personally think she should stay in New York City, not move back to Dallas. I think if she can make it in New York City, she'll be totally fine. Because being independent is probably the best thing that could have ever happened to her. Now moving on to Reese. Reese was probably the most featured rookie dancer from the show. She is the God-loving Alabama University alumni. Now Reese got married to her fiance Will, who was also featured in the show. They got married pretty much just before season 1 of America's Sweetheart aired. And she looks absolutely stunning. She looks gorgeous. This whole wedding was such a vibe. And by the looks of the season 2 trailer for America's Sweethearts, it looked like Netflix was there and filming. Just like Kelsey, she is living that influencer life. It is probably a lot easier for Reese because she's a current DCC and she is still very, very relevant. Because as we know, a lot of girls have spoken about, they pretty much lose their relevancy as soon as they leave DCC. They're just another regular girl again. She has traveled to the Miami Grand Prix with Pepper Mayo, and she's also worked with brands like Kendra Scott, Rebel Athletic, Bahamas Tourism, Revlon, and a bunch more. It looks like she is still a florist as well. She posts a lot of her arrangements and bouquets online. And it also seems like she never turns down an interview because the amount of podcasts and YouTube channels and everything that is popping up with Reese interviews, it's never ending. So absolutely love that for her, staying relevant, getting the bag. Now moving on to Kat. I was so excited to see Kat because I knew she had retired, but the fact that they still brought her in anyway as a retired DCC to get her like overall perspective as things from someone who is now outside looking in, I was so excited. I love Kat. This was awesome. She was definitely a fan favorite on CMT's Making the Team because I think her personality was so different. She was so loud and out there because her personality really stood out in the Texas dance world. Now, I literally remember Kat from her Charlotte Hornets days as an NBA dancer. I've been a big fan of Kat for so long. I think she is stunning. I think she's an excellent performer. Literally, look at these screenshots between Kat and I. This goes back to when she made training camp all those years ago. So I'm a big Kat fan. I may be biased. I just have a lot of love for her. I think she's the best. So to see her be featured in a Netflix show and get all this love from the outside world is amazing. I love that for her. Since Kat was already a retired DCC, not a crazy amount has happened with her in the last year. She does do a few shifts here and there as a Monster Energy promo girl, and again, so incredibly beautiful and stunning. I wish I looked like this. She is like gold. She is just, everything about her is just like chef's kiss. Similar to Kelsey, she has been doing kind of the partnerships, Similar to Kelsey, she has been doing a lot of the influencer lifestyle. She's worked with some great brands, including Walmart, which is massive. And from what I see online, she has a new man and they seem perfect together. He really seems to match her energy. She's also a DCC All-Star from time to time, so it is really good to see her back in the iconic uniform as well. Now on to Caroline. Not a crazy amount. Again, she was already a retired DCC when she was on the Netflix show, but she's had a few partnership things here and there, a few little influencer jobs, but she really seems to thrive and be her best self when she is around her DCC sisters. That is pretty much when she is posting the most online, when they catch up for a wedding or a birthday. So anytime she's with DCC, she seems to be thriving. Now onto another rookie candidate we saw a fair bit of, which was Ariana. Ari made it to training camp her first year, which was the year that it wasn't shown on Netflix or CMT. She made it to training camp. She was unfortunately cut very late in the game, and she made it back into training camp in season 1 of America's Sweethearts. As we know, she was determined to make the squad. She moved all the way to Dallas, Texas from San Diego. She was working there. She pretty much set up her whole life there and was taking the most intensive prep classes you possibly could be taking. Unfortunately, Charlotte Jones really took precedent here and said she just looks like a little girl running behind trying to catch up. If I was Ari, I would be so extremely upset about this because it's something you kind of can't really control and that you wish they would have told you before you had made such a sacrifice to prepare all year to try and make the team. Again, she moved her whole life here, so it really sucks for her. But Ari's dream wasn't over yet, and she ended up moving to Miami, Florida and auditioning for the Miami Dolphin Cheerleaders. She did make it her first year. She is currently in training camp for her second year. She seems so extremely in her element. She seems like she has really found her place, found her group of girls. She, again, posts photos and videos so often. I think her profile picture is even her official headshot as a Miami Dolphins cheerleader. She is, again, living her absolute best life, and I'm so happy for her. She's taken the influencer route again, like I said. She's worked with some massive brands as well. So she, again, I just can't say it enough. She literally looks so extremely happy to what we saw her in DCC. Now I'm gonna cover Kelly and Charlie, because their paths are pretty much the exact same to where they are right now. As you guys remember, they both auditioned last year. They both got cut, unfortunately, and it was a big dream of theirs. They talked to both of their families, so they were very prominent characters in the show. They both went home and they worked super hard, and spoiler alert, they did make the team, which will be featured on season 2 of America's Sweethearts. Kelly did keep her iconic brown hair that she switched from blonde to, and they both seem to be absolutely thriving. If you look at their TikTok and Instagram, they are posting regularly. Again, a few little influencer things there. Charlie does some really good kind of day in the lives vlogs. She did one for the intensive prep the other day. She's done some for the tours. She, again, is giving us a really good insight into her life. And they are both currently in training camp, which will hopefully air season 3 of America's Sweethearts. You guys remember Anisha? She was stunning, gorgeous. She worked as a dentist as well. She unfortunately was cut during training camp. It didn't look like she re-auditioned this year. At least she didn't make it to training camp in season 2 or 3. But she is living her best life. It looks like she's traveling a lot between Dallas and LA, teaching a lot of Bollywood style dance. That's pretty much all she uploads online as well, is just dance videos, so I don't really know what else is going on with her personally, but I hope she is well. Now, Madeline was touched on very briefly during the show. She talked about her loss of her father, who was a camera operator for the Dallas Cowboys, as well as a connection because her mother was a DCC, so there was that legacy piece there as well. Again, I just want to touch on this really quickly. But if you guys remember my last video where I talked about the Katiana and Shandy situation, Katiana was pulled from the USO tour and Madeline stepped pretty much right in with a couple of days notice and took over that spot on the USO tour. I was really happy for her because it seems like she doesn't get a crazy amount of opportunities with DCC, and as well her mother did go on the USO tours back in the day, so it's really nice for them to be able to share that bond together. I have seen talk recently online that her dancing isn't up to its A+ standard, her absolute best, but she did make it into training camp this year, which was announced yesterday. So fingers crossed she still goes ahead and still makes the team. Those are the kind of individual where are they now, but let's talk about DCC as a whole since the Netflix show aired. Now the DCC squad is absolutely thriving. The brand, the organization, everything with DCC is going as well as it could be. In this past year, they've performed on stage with Casey Musgrave, who is a big DCC fan, and she was actually one of the surprise guest judges at finals this year. They also opened the show for the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight that was only on Netflix. Obviously, the Netflix partnership was there, but that was really awesome for them to see. I'm pretty sure it was at AT&T Stadium as well, so they didn't have to travel far. But they were on view to millions and millions of people with that, so that was a great opportunity for all of them. And I really hope they do cover that in the upcoming season of America's Sweethearts. They also went on a retreat as a squad with Kelly Finglass to the Bahamas, which we know a lot of drama happened there. If you guys want to know what that's about, please go check out the Katiana and Shandy situation on my last video. And they recently got back from a Texas-wide tour. They performed in multiple cities. A few girls did solos such as Charlie and Reese, and they did Thunderstruck. They kind of ran down the aisles. It looked really cool. So I thought it was a great move for them, both financially and with the new Netflix series coming out soon. People were really excited for that. What I also thought was super interesting was they had like some live auditions. I think people had to obviously submit as if they were auditioning for DCC, and then they would bring up, I would say like 4, maybe 6 girls per like location, and it would be like a live audition. It was a super interesting element, but I'm pretty sure a couple of those girls did eventually make it to training camp. The DCC also signed a massive partnership with Charlotte Tilbury, the makeup brand. This is huge. It was pretty much like on their floor for finals. They had the insane amount of products. It looks like an amazing partnership that I feel like is worth a lot of money. As it's been mentioned 100 times, season 2 of America's Sweetheart comes out this week. I am so beyond excited for it. I will be doing a Where Are They Now pretty much as soon as it airs. I already started taking notes on the girls, and yeah, it's gonna come out just a couple of days after it airs, so make sure you tune in for that. Like I mentioned, if there is any other kind of DCC niche topic you want to talk about, you want me to discuss, you want me to do a deep dive on, please let me know. I feel like, again, I'm very well versed in this kind of niche area, super specific niche area. I've been watching Making the Team for years, and yeah, it's a different world, DCC. So I love getting all the information out to you guys. Again, I just did a recap on what happened at training camp. You can check that out on my TikTok. It had some background music, so YouTube didn't like that at all, so it's only on my TikTok, so go check that out. Again, anything else you want from me, drop it below in the request form, and don't forget to follow me at Charlotte Scott on both Instagram and TikTok to keep up with me in real time. Send me a message, let's chat. Again, I want to know your opinions, and I want to know your opinions on what is going to happen in this next season that airs in a couple of days. So exciting. Thank you guys again for watching. I love having you guys around. I love talking to you guys. I feel like I can't talk about this with my friends in real life, so that's why I talk about it with you guys. So thanks for hanging out. It's been fun, and I can't wait to see you in the next video in a few days. So bye guys, stay safe out there.